this stuff is nothing but learning dialogues. You know, it's one of these, the business, a lot of it is, he says this, well, what do you say back? That's what it is, a lot of it. For example, how much is my house worth? Now, some of you have no clue. If you came in my house and I said, how much is my house worth? You have no clue what to say, some of it, right? Because you haven't been any training yet about anything. And that's what this training's all about. How much is my house worth? How much is my house worth, Christine? Got any idea?
Well, I would be prepared before I go there
Huh?
to answer that question.
Well, you not if you hadn't seen my house, you wouldn't.
Well, if I'm stepping in it,
Huh?
if I'm stepping in the house.
We'll have some research.
Yeah, well, that's
The
the
buyer's willing to pay.
Oh, everything's was worth what a buyer's willing to pay. Remember that day I took a watch off in here, and I said, here, there's nobody in here, I'm broke, I need to sell this watch. And I said, what's it worth today? And this people right here. What's this watch worth right now? The only buyers I got are right in here. What's the watch worth?
$350.
Nah, whatever somebody in here will give me for it. That's all it's worth. If I have to sell it, that's all it's worth. So how much is my house worth? You'll learn to say things like this. I don't know, I'll have to do my research. It's all researched anyway, and you may know possibly. But see, once in a while you walk in a $300,000 house and the guy says he wants $400,000 for it, and you say, well, I think we can do something like that. And that's all he ever remembers. You said I could get $400,000 for my house. You said that, right? And that's all he remembers. So that's just one example of what we're talking about. All right? If you're going to do this stuff, you got to practice. A good way to practice, there's a couple of good ways to practice. One is just like you study for a class. You know, here's my dialogue, I'm going to learn it. And you study for a class. Another is do one-on-ones with people. Do one-on-ones. Two of you in here, you and Alan have been doing some of this, one-on-ones with people. And you get role-playing it and you get answering things, see, back and forth, that sort of thing. Another good way, and this is a good way, and most people don't do it, get in front of a mirror. Get in front of a mirror. Get in front of a mirror and say, I just said such, God, that sounded pretty good. Or vice versa, or whatever. Or I got to clean that up a little bit. He records these things every week. Now, I've done this a couple thousand times probably, all right? Guess what I'll do in a couple of days? About 6 times I'll look at this thing and I'll say, I got to do a few things. Dadgum, I got to do a few things a little differently. So I got something right here in front of me. Slow dialogue. Slow dialogue. I talk too fast most of the time. So I got it sitting right there. Dadgummit, let's slow down a little bit if we can. All right? All right. Anybody's been in here 2 weeks ago? Harry did this. Hugo, you did this. Then you came up here and told me who you were?
Yes, sir.
When you talked about selling my house, you kind of staggered through this, right?
He's on my list.
I know, but did you come up here in front with me and do it?
No.
You did, I think, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
You or Anna did it, yeah, that's right, okay. The rest of you don't know, did you do this? You want to do it?
You just introduce yourself. Well, not
What you do, here's what you do. We role play. Here's what you do. You're going to come and talk to me about selling my house, okay? And you walk in the door and I don't know you from God knows who, all right? But you want to sell my house. Am I going to list my house with somebody that can't tell me who they are?
Of course not.
Of course not. So point being, come back next week, I'm going to put you right here. Okay? And you better tell me who you are and what you've done successfully and so forth and so on. And you better make me like you a little bit.
And you got a couple days from me because it's going to take a while to tell you all my success.
Narrow it down. Well, that's the way with me. You want to know everything I've done? You got a week, I can tell you. I mean, I tell everybody I start out, I said, I started training horses from riding colts when I was 3 years old. I had a pony that I fell off of and all this stuff. And, coached football 30 years and sold real estate for a while and did this training for 15 years. And I could go on and on and on because there's no lot of things. But here's the thing. Make a spiel out of it where nothing but successes. Everything you've done successfully, you'll be able to stand up here and talk to me, and I've done this, I've done that. So
my approach when I walk into someone's house is usually to ask them about themselves and
Themselves.
let them talk.
Well,
That way
that's part
I
of it.
know how to approach what to say next to
That's
them
part of
and
it.
how to be able to relate to them and draw from my experience and my background to.
If you can get them to talk.
Oh, I can never talk.
Anyway, so, what else? All right, let's talk about last week. What was last week's class about? Hugo, what did we do last week? He was here last week. What did we do last week, Hugo? Come on.
House?
Huh?
There we go. Open house.
Open house.
Open house. I wasn't even here now. Open house.
Open house.
It's break.
Yeah. Open
Reaching
house.
back there. Huh? Reach back there.
You know what? If you reach back there and you can't find it, that means you haven't practiced, Hugo.
I found it. It's there.
That means you haven't practiced, okay? All right, so let's go back to last week for a minute. And we're gonna role play a couple of things to begin with. And Hugo's the only one, and Harry, who's disappeared on us, is the only one in here that's done this before. You looked at it, didn't you? Okay, let's go back and role play the meet and greet. Role
I
play,
read the paper.
huh?
I read the paper. I didn't look at the video.
Huh?
I said I read the paper. I didn't look at the video.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, well, you should look. That's all right. Let's go role play the meet and greet in an open house. We're backing up a little bit, quick review. Meet and greet in an open house. What are you gonna say? Come on. Come on. Come on. Nobody and nobody. Nobody. 'Cause they're new, they don't know. I know that. Here's the point. Meet and greet in an open house. We talked last week about how you watch the street a little bit and learn a little bit about them that way. And when they come in the front door, you have on, hey, what do you have on?
Name tag?
Name tag. What else do you have in your hand?
Business card?
Business card. Sign-in sheet. Where's the sign-in sheet?
On your hand.
In my hand. On the clipboard,
I
right?
can remember their name.
Huh?
So I can
So I can remember the name. He remembers this from last week. All right?
What was yours back?
Yeah, it's in there. That's one thing about Hugo. I ask Hugo a question and I can see the wheels turning in there all the time. But anyway,
See, I have the paper.
okay, that's all right. That's good. Anyway, so you're gonna meet and greet somebody in an open house. This is a review from last week. Say the same thing all the time. What do you say? Anybody know what you say? Come on, Hugo. You're the only one in here that studied it. Come on. These wheels are turning. No, I'll
Did
give
you hear
it.
about us?
I'll give
Did you
it. No,
did you hear
yeah.
about the open
No, what's the first thing you say? What's that first good
Good
word?
afternoon.
Yeah, and what's that first good word you use?
My name is Christina
Yes.
from Culture Estate.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming by my open house.
And that's the word. Appreciate. Say the same thing to every one of them. Good afternoon. My name is Tom from Culture Estate. I really appreciate you coming by my open house today. It's easy. This is from last week. If you do all the classes, honey, you don't have to take notes on this because you'll get this later on. And you can go get on the internet and look at it. All right? Say the same thing over and over. I don't care if you got 10 people come to the open house. I appreciate you coming by my open house today. I appreciate you coming by my open house today. And then what was the next thing? Hugo, I think you just mentioned it, or somebody just mentioned it. What's the next question you might ask them?
How'd you hear about it?
Yeah. How'd you find us? How did you find us?
Sign.
Did you come from the sign or did you come from an ad? Okay, what's the difference?
Well, we know where they are.
What kind of advertising?
Working?
They know the
Are the
price.
advertising working?
What, Danny?
They know the price.
They know the price. If they came from an ad, they know the price. If they just rode down the street and saw the sign, they don't know the price. And that's something that you have to work with. So, how'd you find us? Da, 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 da. Or you can ask them something like, did you have any trouble finding us? That sort of thing. But the point I'm making with this is just a little review. The point I'm making, it's all canned. It's all canned. It all should be canned. You gotta know what to say with this stuff. All right? Okay. Last week. Okay. What did we say last week about looking about buying signs at an open house? What did we say about looking about buying signs at an open house last week? Huh? Anybody know?
Start looking when they drive by.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood.
Yeah, they're looking around the neighborhood, but we're in the house now. You go, we're in the house. What we're gonna look for? There are 3 categories of buying signs, just to continue with it. One category is this: anything they might say to each other about living in the house is a buying sign. Oh, this third bedroom could be an office or something like that. Anything they say or do about living in the house. is one category. What was the second category?
Anything they don't like?
Huh?
Anything they don't like?
That was the third category that mentioned. Anything they don't like. If they point out negatives about the house, most people say, well, they're not going to buy this. Yeah, they are. A lot of them are. And we use this example. So I look up, there's a big wet spot in the ceiling. Okay? Do I care anything about the wet spot if I'm not interested in the house? No.
Probably don't
But if
know
I
that.
am, yeah. But if I am interested in the house, I might ask about that wet spot in the ceiling. All right, that's the third one. What was the second one? Anything they ask that has to do with the neighborhood of stuff outside of the house. How far is the bus station?
Community.
Which school district are we in? Huh?
Community.
Yeah, yeah.
School.
Those kind of things, right. Those kind of things. That's the second category. Now, just another quick review from last week. If I get 3 buying signs, what do I do? If I'm showing somebody that open house and I get 3 buying signs, what do I do?
Hit them with 2 soft closes.
2 soft closes, Danny said. Danny's heard it 100 times. 2 soft closes. What are the 2 soft close questions?
Can you see yourself living?
Can you see yourself living here? Yeah. You like the house is one of them. If they say yes to that, you say, well, could you see yourself living here? Well, yeah, maybe. You follow 2 soft closes with 1 hard close. What's the 1 hard close?
Don't buy it?
Would you like to buy this house? Do not use this word. Do not use this word. This word is 5-letter word. Do not use this word.
Offer.
Offer. Would you like to make an offer? You've just discounted the price of the house. That's as much as we saying this thing's not worth what they're asking for it. Would you like to make an offer? No. You do not say, would you like to make an offer? Guess what they're going to say right back to you? What are they going to say right back to you? Come on.
They're gonna lowball you.
Huh? What are they going to say?
How much you think I can get that for?
Yeah. What do you think I should offer? Would you like to make an offer? Well, what do you think I should offer? What are you going to say? There's only one answer.
The asking price.
Absolutely. That's the only answer to this price. The asking price is such and such.
Over the asking price.
In some cases, over the asking price was what they sell for, yeah. But you know what got you in trouble with that was the word offer. Never say the word offer. All right? This is what you say. Would you like to buy the house? Would you like to buy the house? All right? So, all right. Today, okay? All right. I think that's a real good statement, that first one there. The first thing on here says buying customers are much more demanding and better educated than they were prior to the age of technology. Is that not true? Yes, that is true.
Buying customers.
Do you think a serious buying customer knows the inventory probably better than you do?
Probably.
If you don't keep up with it,
Absolutely.
they do. Guess why? Because they're out there doing their research looking for houses. So they know what's for sale. So if they ask you questions about what that one up the street sell for, you better be able to answer them. All right? That sort of thing. So, what does the buying customer want the agent to do for them? Well, hey, I don't need you anymore. I got all this technology, I don't need you. So, you know, what do you want to do? They want to make it easy for them. Most people that buy houses today, are really busy kind of people. They're busy, busy, busy. Why do they get you to look for a house for them? Because they don't have time. They don't have time. The point is, the service we offer is we know where the inventory is, we know where the houses are, and we'll find the house for them. The benefit to them is they don't have to look until we tell them what to look at, right? So what else? Save them time when they're looking for a house. Eliminate problems. They want to eliminate problems. I don't want any problems, these things. A lot of closings. You get to a closing, we're missing this, we're missing that, and so forth. They don't want any problems. They want you to do it all for them. You and their attorney has to do it all. And this is what you have to learn about doing it all for them. All right? And then finally it says they're looking for a good deal. Everybody's looking for a deal. Everybody's looking for a deal, right? If I can get a good deal, I might buy something. If I can't get a good deal, I won't buy something. So everybody's looking for a deal. So what do we say about it? All right?
Sounds like a bargain hunter right there.
Yes, it does. That sounds like a bargain hunter. In some cases, like we talk about that when we talk about open houses. Bargain hunters go to open houses. They want to save the commission. They go to FISBOs. They want to save the commission, rather. All right? So, here's the thing. When you work with buyers, the first time you work with buyers, you're being interviewed. You are being interviewed first time you work with buyers. Yeah. Am I going to buy anything from you, Sophie? I don't like you professionally. Am I going to buy anything from you?
No.
No, absolutely. It's all a job interview. It's just like we said a couple weeks ago about listing appointments. I'm going on a listing appointment today. No, you're not. You're going on a job interview. You're going on a job interview. It's all a job interview. Okay. All right. You're being interviewed and buyers won't work with incompetence. Hey, if you don't know the inventory, for example, do you think buyers are going to work with you? Here's the biggest thing that buyers don't like. Here's the biggest thing that buyers don't like. Buyers don't like agents wasting their time. Buyers don't like agents wasting their time. What do we mean by wasting their time? Showing them what?
Houses they don't like.
Houses they don't like. So we got to have a plan to learn what we want to show them, because it's got to be something they'll like. Right? You can't just, oh, this one came on the market today, I'm going to call so-and-so and we're going to run out and see it. You haven't seen it, they haven't seen it, you're not sure what they want, anything like that. So I'm going to put them in the car, ride them out there and waste a couple hours of their time. They're going to come back and they'll do the parking lot escape out here and jump out of your car into their car and be gone. Easy enough? Easy enough? So, all right, you must have a plan for working with buyers, including search for wants and needs. We're going to talk about all that in a little bit. You got to get buyers to make choices. What's involved in anything you buy? Anything you buy, what's involved with anything you buy? Choices. Choices. Most people go out to buy anything. They'll look and they'll choose between this one and that one and so forth. But in the real estate business, you can sometimes have to force people to make choices. You got to have a way to force them to make choices. And you got to have a way to get them to look at houses in a way that will force them to make choices, if you understand what we're talking about there. Okay. All right. What are we going to do with that? All right. One of the things we're going to do, first of all, at the bottom of the first page, is build a little rapport. Okay? Build rapport. They got to like you professionally. We talked about that. We talked about that in our guide in every class we've done, I'm sure. And then it says, and establish an agenda. It's important that the agent have an orderly process to find a home for the customer. That got to include a discussion. It starts with a discussion of wants and needs. What do you want? I got to find out what you want before I'm going looking for houses for you, okay? And then it goes from there. You got to have a plan for how to show properties. Some people don't. Some people just open the door and say this is the kitchen. As they're standing in the kitchen, they'll say this is the kitchen or something like that. Something silly. All right? And it's got to have a plan for making an offer. Do you think, just to jump off a little bit, do you think a first-time buyer comes to you and they find a house they want to buy? Do you think somebody better teach them how to buy one? No?
Because if they come to you, I think they already know what they're looking for.
Yeah, but do they know how to buy one? You're missing the point.
Well, I guess that's what the realtor steps in.
Absolutely, but you got to teach them ahead of time. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
You got to teach them ahead of time. All right? What's going to happen when we find a house you want to buy? Ask his first-time buyers that question. What are we going to do when we find a house you want to buy? And then it says, write an offer contract and doing things necessary to complete the sale. On page 2, okay? Buyer agency, we're not going to get into that. That's Lewis's deal. How about financially qualifying buyers?
Absolutely.
Financially qualifying buyers. And most of you haven't been in the business very long, but I guarantee you those of you that have ridden around them sometimes and spent a day with somebody that couldn't buy a house and you didn't know it. Right? You ever spent a day with somebody and they couldn't buy a house? No?
I have.
You have.
When I first got into real
I
estate.
have.
I first got
Lewis has.
I first got into real estate. It was a friend, and I was driving around, didn't have a pre-approval, looking at houses that person did not qualify for, and then after they got qualified, I wasted a week of showing houses they didn't qualify for. So it was very good.
Good lesson. Yeah, sure, it's a good lesson. All right, financially qualifying the customer. Okay. How do you get a customer qualified?
Call Andy Garcia.
How do you get a customer qualified? You have them meet, as you know, with a mortgage rep. Is that correct?
That's right.
And you can get them pre-qualified, or you can get them even pre-approved if they'll go through the paperwork. You can get them pre-approved for a mortgage, which is better. Pre-approved is better. It's like having a credit card to buy a house. All right? So you put somebody in your car that's pre-approved. Do you know what price range they're in?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, positively. Is that saving you time?
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely, positively. So, point being, you don't take somebody out and show them a bunch of houses without them going through the approval process. Easy enough? What's the next thing there say? Discuss wants and needs. Well, we've done this before. First, let's use first-time buyers for an example. Discuss wants and needs. What's this? It's a seesaw. That's correct. Somebody that's been here before knows it's a seesaw. What's on the heavy end of a seesaw for first-time buyers? Wants and needs. So down here is wants and needs, right? What's up here on the light end?
Dollar fund.
Huh? Dollars? Yeah. We got X dollars, but we want this, and this. All right? What is your job as a real estate agent?
Balance it out.
Right there. Before you sell them anything, you got to get that line balanced out. How do you do it? How do you do it? It's easy if you look at it.
Find the difference by eliminating some of the wants.
All right, we can eliminate some of the wants. All right, and make that thing go this way, can't we? When that goes this way, what happens up here? That goes that way, right? How about if we can't get it all the way down there that way? What do they have to do now?
Go up in purchase price.
Yay! Grandma's got money under the mattress.
Show them houses in areas where the taxes are better.
That's the plan. That's a plan. Anything to increase their buying power.
Right.
Anything to increase their buying power. But you have to do that. You can't just put somebody in the deadgum car and ride them around and think you're working. All right? We're going to talk about that more in a minute. Okay, show properties and make choices. We're going to talk about that in a minute. When buyers see properties, they've got to be able, to make choices. All right? You got to force them to make choices. All right? How are we going to do that? We'll talk about it in a minute. How we can get them to make choices. And that's part of your job. What else does it say? What else does it say? Okay, show properties, close the sale. You see where it says the agent must educate the customer as to what happens from the one? All right, here's a good dialogue for you. You're working with a first-time buyer. This is what I'm going to do. One of the things I'm going to do for you, I'm going to educate you. I'm going to educate you in the home buying process. Does that make sense? I'm going to educate you in the home buying process so that when we find a house for you to buy, you'll know how we're going to proceed with it. But I have to educate you in the home buying process. That's part of it. Do people like to be educated, Hugo?
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. First-time buyers who don't know anything. You think they'd like to be educated a little bit, don't you? So point being, you as an agent have to know the process well enough that you can educate them in the buying process. Easy enough? All right? Give you just a for example goes with that. First time you ever go out with a first-time home buyer. First time you ever go out with a first-time home buyer, what's one of the things you give them?
Paperwork.
Right. You give them a contract to purchase, which we call paperwork. Okay? You know why?
So that they're familiar with it?
So maybe they'll look at it.
Maybe they'll give it to their lawyer.
Maybe they'll give it to their lawyer. Hey, they come back next week and I say, did you all look at that paperwork I gave you last week? Yeah, we did. We had our lawyer look at it. Have I got a good first-time home buyer now?
Yes.
Definitely. But you can't wait till the last minute after you find the house. Well, we got to go through this contract. Contract scares the hell out of them. All right? We're not working on contract right now. We're just talking about the process. We're going to educate you on the home buying process. Easy enough? So where do we go? Well, the next part says, where does the agent find buying customers? Hey, new agents, where do new agents find buyers? I know where I found them when I started. But I've told all of you, I didn't make any money the first year I was in the business, so you can't use that. But the second year I did. Third year, 1988, 89, I made about $140,000. So wasn't bad for a country boy that didn't even know how to drive around this part of the country. Where do you find them?
My sphere.
Huh?
I found some in my sphere.
The ratio.
And your sphere of influence, absolutely. Remember we asked a couple of weeks ago, Hugo, how many of you think there's 100 people that know you got a real estate license? Is there 100 people who know you're doing this?
Not yet.
Not yet, right? But guess what? When I get my license, am I gonna let at least 100 people know that I'm in the business? Yes, positively. Positively, yes. All right, so referrals is one. Open houses. I want to tell you something. When spring comes, when it's almost here, if I were a new agent and one of these people like Harry or Lim or one of them listed a decent house somewhere, guess what I'm going to do? Right quick, what am I going to do?
Ask them if I could host an open house.
Ask them if I can have an open house there this Sunday. Absolutely, positively. If it's a decent house that you think you'll get some customers in. I want to hold open houses. I hated holding open houses when I was new. I thought Sunday was to watch a ball game. I wasn't open house. Man, I was watching football. I didn't have time to watch a ball game. I wasn't over in the open house. But you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to find customers to work with. Telephone call prospecting. How many? I bet you most of you would just love to do that, wouldn't you? Huh? Nope. Thought you don't just love, you don't want to get on that phone a couple hours a day and talk to people. We got people that do that in here. Got people making some decent bucks in here that do that. Got a young man in here at 8 o'clock this morning doing that. All right? You got to learn to do that. There's a class on it. Don't worry about it. We'll teach you what to say. We'll teach you what to say. Don't worry. You said, oh, telephone call prospecting. What am I going to say? I don't know. I hate these people that call me all the time and want to sell me something. You know, those people that start out with, how are you this evening? You know, yeah, that's what I always tell them. I'm terminally ill. I'm going to be dead in 2 months. They hang up the phone. They hang up the phone.
What did you want again?
Yeah. All right, telephone prospecting. Oh, and then there's other kind of things. Sign calls like a FISBO. Remember the gut gauge, Harry? We got a little gut gauge we put up here once in a while. It's fun. It's kind of interesting. Here you are. Here we are. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. If I said go in there and pick up the phone and call a FISBO or go knock on a FISBO's door, where are you going to fit on this gut gauge?
10.
Wow.
Wow.
What are you going to say? No, we won't get into what you're going to say because we don't have time for that. Harry will fit in a 10 just about anything. Because, you know, one thing I love about Harry, and this is a funny way to put it, Harry don't give a damn.
He'll be there 8.
He don't care. He don't care. Doesn't matter to him. He's going to go. Harry can handle rejection. He knows he's going to get rejected. Right? You're going to get rejected in this business. Oh, I can't do this stuff. And people will reject me and people might not like me. And hey, it's a tough business. That's all I can tell you. There's going to be people that don't like you. It's part of the business. Okay? For most of you, somebody with no experience, if I could get them to a 4, knocking on the physical door, I think, man, I got somebody that I might be able to train here. If I got somebody that says, I can't do that, I would say, can't train you.
I'm gonna sit down right here. Damn, I gotta get this mastermind meeting.
You're undermining.
Picture of my map.
You're untrainable. If you won't do the activities, you're untrainable. You know? It's just like training horses. I've trained horses for a long time. Guess what? A few of them are untrainable. Somebody ate them somewhere, I guess. I don't know where they are. Huh? Well, hey, they were untrainable. All right. So, where are you going to find them? New agents. There's where you find them. There's where they are. We've got classes on all of that stuff. For those of you that want to come in here every week and learn, We got classes for all of that stuff. Okay, when the agent gets consultation with the buying customer, it usually involves a confirmation call. Did you ever, some of you that's a little experienced, did you ever come in here waiting for an appointment to show up and they didn't show up?
Yeah.
That happens. That happens. And try to make sure that they do show up. It might involve a confirmation call. When you make a confirmation call, mention the date, time, meeting, the place, and use these words. I look forward to. I look forward to meeting with you Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock at our office. I look forward to. Project it into the future. Project it into the future and talk about it a little bit, okay? Keep them interested in the appointment by mentioning a few points of interest about the properties they're going to see. We're going to see some nice houses today. I got a really nice 3-bedroom Cape. We're going to take a look at or something. Pique their interest a little bit. I got a couple of really nice houses to look at today. You want them here. That's one of the ways you get them here. Okay? End the call on a positive note. I look forward to meeting with you, blah, blah, blah. But you got to make I wouldn't set an appointment 4 or 5 days ahead of time that I didn't make a confirmation call about. All right? Let's go to page 3. Let's go to page 3. All right? Now, page 3 is where we start talking about wants and needs. Okay? You gotta talk about wants and needs. Is it hard to get particularly first-time buyers to talk about wants and needs? Yes, it is. Because they'll get unreasonable with the wants and needs side of this thing. Oh, we gotta have 4 bedrooms, we gotta have 2.5 baths, we gotta have this, we gotta have that, so forth. No. If they'll talk to you that way, that's good. But how about if they won't talk to you much? What's the question I'm gonna ask them?
Need.
Huh? No. If they won't talk to you much about wants and needs, what's the question? What's the big question I'm gonna ask them? If you could have
Any house you want, your dream
any
house.
house you wanted, your dream house, whatever. If you could have a house with anything in it you wanted, what would you have in your house? Guess what they'll do? They'll mention the most important thing to them first. That'll be the first thing they'll say. If you could have anything in your house you wanted, what would you have in it? Oh, we gotta have a large master bedroom. All right? For example. So talk about their dream house. Get them to talk about their dream house. And when they come up with things on their dream house that seem a little bit unreasonable because you're working on this wants and needs side of this seesaw here, ask the question why. We need 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. There he is. I wonder where you were. I couldn't
Get
pick up.
attention today. It's getting late.
Yeah.
So I'm here.
I know, man. I want to. You and Harry are supposed to teach this stuff. You come in here an hour late.
I'm here.
You know, you come in here an hour late.
Today.
We in the back cage or something.
No, I had to pick up a car from the shop.
All right, where were we? All right, wants and needs.
My Jeep, I had to pick up.
Wants and needs. If they come up and start talking unreasonable wants and needs, or say it's a young married couple, we got to have 4 bedrooms. Well, you're looking at them and you're saying, well, what the heck do you need 4 bedrooms? Yeah, but you look at them and say, could you tell me why you need 4 bedrooms? Or would you mind sharing with me why you need 4 bedrooms? Sharing is a great word. Put that in your dialogue. Sharing is a great word. People will share with you what they'll never tell you. Okay? You've been taught since you're this high to share, right? So if I said share, that rings a bell. All right, so would you mind sharing with me why you need such and such and so and so? Okay, study the wants and needs. You know why? Because you got to know what they need before you spend a lot of time with them. All right? Includes a discussion of price range. Oh, all right. Here, let's try this line. You want to buy a house? Yeah. What can you afford? Terrible. Never use the word afford. Never use the word afford. What are you going to say? Anybody know? Rocco, tell me. Come on, Rocco. You just got in the door. You got to catch up. When you're talking about price range, you're going to ask them, what can you afford? No, you're not.
What do you feel comfortable spending?
Okay. Or are you aware of your price range? Aware is a good word. Aware is another good word. Are you aware of your price range? That's the same as, hey, dummy, what can you afford? All right? Are you aware of your price range?
Can you ask what's your budget?
Not really, man, that's, your budget? What's that tell me?
Negative, like, connotation, like.
Absolutely. You're limiting, you know, what's your budget? Well, we can't afford to spend more than $275 a month or blah, blah, blah. No, you don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Stay away from that kind of stuff.
Can you ask them what their buying power is?
I don't know what that means. Does that mean, how much,
Bye.
what's buying power?
The real estate teacher was saying to ask them.
Well, I'm gonna ask them, are you aware of your price range? It's the same as saying, do you know what you can spend? But it sounds better. Are you aware of your price range? Yeah, we don't wanna spend over blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that number goes up there, right? Right? That number goes right up here. Okay, we can't spend over 300,000. That goes up here. And that's wants and needs things that we just talked about. Sure knocks this thing way down, doesn't it? So what do we gotta do? What do we gotta do? Balance it up. Got to get rid of some of these wants and needs. Could you do with 3 bedrooms? Or, you know, you said you need 4, but could you be better off with 3? We might be able to find something in your price range that has 3 bedrooms and a bath and a half. I don't know. You're constantly trying to balance the seesaw. That's all you're doing with them. And if you don't learn to do this, you're going to ride around till God knows when with people that can't buy a house or won't buy a house. Okay. All right. The next paragraph down there says, buying a house involves making choices. Okay. Before I would ever go out with somebody, I would explain this to them a little bit. Buying a house involves making choices. They're going to say, what do you mean? We're going to choose. I'm going to show you 5 houses today, and we're going to teach you about how to make choices. I'm going to show you 5 houses today. All right, I'm going to show you one here. I'm going to show house B. I'm going to show C. I'm going to show you house D. I'm going to show you house E. Now, let's talk about it. We're about to start out. We're going to house A. First thing, you should know something about the houses that you're going to see. One of the things you should know, and you laugh about this, one of the things you should know is about the parking. I want to park my car where we can sit in the car and see the house, if that's possible. I want to park the car where we can see the house before we go in. Follow? We're going to sit there and talk about this one a little bit. We're going to have them looking at it if we can. This one's got 3 bedrooms, got a bath and a half, got a nice family room, da-da-da. All right? All right? And we're going to look at house A. And as soon as we finish looking at house A, we're going to start teaching them this. We're going to house B. We're going to house B. House B's got similar to house A, or whatever it might be, all right? After I show them house B, what am I going to ask them? What am I going to ask them, Harry, after I show them house B?
Sorry, I was in the middle.
That's all right.
Would you like
Come on, Rocco.
Did you show them house A and B? Or
I showed them house A and B. What am I going to ask them?
Which one do you like better?
Absolutely.
And why?
If you had to live, I wouldn't ask them which one did you like better specifically. She won't be. She probably won't be back. Just sit down there.
Here, why don't you have a seat here?
Sit down. Sit down. We're talking about stealing houses today. All right. And you are. Let me see. Jose.
That's me.
That's you. All right. Where were we? I've seen house A and I've seen house B. All right. Now, I'm going to train them to make choices. If you had to live in house A or house B, which one would you live in? And if you want to really get cute with them, say, let's assume these are the last 2 houses on earth. Laugh a little bit. Let's assume these are the last 2 houses on earth. All right? You had to live in one of the 2 of them. Which one would you live in? Oh, we'd rather have house A than house B. Did they just make a choice? What's the next question you ask them?
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Why? Why did you choose house A over house B? But we made them make a choice. Isn't that correct? All right? We made them make a choice and we made them talk about it. Why did you choose A over B? Well, we liked the family room in house A, blah, blah, blah. All right? but you got them talking to you. Make sense? I hope it makes sense. All right, we're going on to house C. Well, we've eliminated which house? Which house has been eliminated?
B.
B, absolutely. We've eliminated B, we're going on to C. And after we show C and go through C and talk about C and all that sort of thing, if you had to live in house A or house C, which one would you live in? If you had to, which one would you live in? Well, we still like, I like house A. Okay, good. So we eliminated C, didn't we? And we're going to D. All right, same process. Same process. If you had to live in one of these, you remember house A, it had this, and this, so forth. If you had to live in one of them, which one would it be? Well, we probably would, I don't know, maybe we'd go to D. Okay, we just eliminated A then. Now, what about house E? All right, what about house E? What do we always make if we're working with buyers that are good buyers? What do we always make the best house that we're going to see? Huh?
Best house for less.
Save the best house for last. Absolutely. Save the best house for last. This one here is 250,000 price range. This one here is in the $300,000 price range. This one's much better house than that. Which one are they going to like best? Which one are they going to like best? Well, they're going to like E better. But guess what? Got a problem here. So what do they have to do? They have to settle for D and make this go that way a little bit. Or maybe they can go somewhere and talk to grandma or somebody and come up with another 20,000 or whatever they have to have and make this go down. And maybe we can do this. Which one are they going to think about? If you go out with them Saturday and they're coming back next Saturday, which one house are they going to think about all week? E. Absolutely, positively. It's just simple as that. Now, you see, the point I'm trying to make with all of this is this. This stuff involves a little planning. Most new agents get the car, put them in the car, ride around with them all day. None of this ever happens. None of this ever happens. But you got to learn to make it happen. Somebody said a couple weeks ago, this is a business where you put pressure on people, and I said, yeah, you do. You pressure them in a way that they don't know they're getting pressured. Did we just pressure somebody into buying a house E, maybe? Sure we did. Sure we did. That's what we want them to buy. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. But the big thing we tried to get them to do was to make
Decisions.
choices. That's it. It's all. Some of you, a little bit of experience in here, did you ever ride around somebody all day and you got back to the office and you said, I can't find out a darn thing about these people. I don't know what they're thinking. You know? Sure you do. Sure you do. Unless you got a plan. So, making choices is right in here. All right? The quicker the agent, see the next paragraph down there? The quicker the agent learns the wants and needs of the customer, the quicker sale will be made. All right, here's the deal with that. I gotta find out the wants and needs, so I gotta get them to talk to me, right? What was the first thing I said earlier to get them to talk to me? If they didn't want to tell me much, didn't know much. What did we say?
Sharing.
Yeah, sharing, and what was the key word in there before that?
Their dream house.
Dream house, absolutely. If you could have anything in the house you wanted, what would it be? And we told them this a while ago. We told the first thing they say will be the most important thing to me. I live in a nice house, really do. My wife is a cook and is a house cleaning nut and everything.
It's very important because you can show houses that they're not interested in by not asking these questions. For example, I have buyers I'm working with now. They want a huge family room with a fireplace and a big kitchen. If I'm showing them places that don't have those two important things, I've wasted our time.
Excellent, and they've eliminated those houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the thing, see. You gotta learn how to talk to them. Hey, don't ever, I used to have people did this and it just drove us crazy at my former company. I'm going out and I'm gonna meet a buyer out at the house, and a new first time buyer, I'm gonna meet them out at the house. What we're talking about, don't do that. Will you meet me at the house? The answer is no. You know why? You don't know them. All right. Create a sense of buying urgency. You see that down there at the bottom of page 3? Create a sense of buying urgency. How are you going to do that? You're out there with a first-time buyer. You know they want to buy a house, but they're saying things to you like, well, we're not sure, we're not ready, we have to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. How you create urgency?
Oh, someone else already put a price on it.
Interest rates can go up.
Right there, any way you want to do it. That's how you create urgency.
I mean, they put an offer on it.
Huh?
Someone else put an offer on it already.
Oh, really? Was it somebody in your office?
No, I'm saying like a buyer put an offer on
How do
the
you know
property
that?
already. If I'm the agent and I'm trying to create an urgency for the
That's
buyer,
one way. That's
what
one
I
way.
tell them.
That's one way.
Someone else already put
All
an
right,
offer on it.
I might talk about what's right on this thing first before I talk about that. Right now, interest rates are at, what are they at?
20-year low.
Yeah, what are they?
3.5 to 4.5, depending on your credit.
Yep. Guess what? If interest rates go up, price of houses go down, your qualifying amount goes down. Might be a good time to take advantage of the interest rates, blah, blah, blah. Create some urgency some way. All right? Escalating prices. Are prices of homes going up right now?
Yep.
Yeah, boy. I don't have any doubt about that, but right now here, prices going up. Want to buy a house now? Well, we might wait a couple of months. Well, you wait a couple of months, it's going to cost you more money. Talk about money.
We just had a house that we were going to do a few months ago. We were going to do a short sale.
Uh-huh.
They can actually do a regular sale now.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can get out.
Because the value's
It
up.
went up.
Mm-hmm. What else? Multiple offers. Oh, yeah. Guess what? Have you ever, if anybody ever, well, y'all aren't experienced enough to have done this probably. Have you ever had a house you tried to buy that had multiple offers on it?
Yes.
Yes? Already had multiple offers on it? Okay. Would you rather be trying to buy a house that has multiple offers on it or one that has only your offer to consider?
Just one offer.
Just one offer. Absolutely, positively. That's another way you try to hurry them up a little bit. All right, is there low inventory homes for sale? Everybody's this time of year, if I went on a listing appointment, this is the other part of it, if I went on a listing appointment now and people told me I'm gonna wait till spring, I'd say something like this: everybody's gonna wait till spring. There's gonna be a lot more houses on the market. Buyers are gonna have a lot more choices in the spring than they have now, right? So, why not buy now? Isn't it? But just put yourself together a speed. It's just a plan. Like everything else I do, it's a plan. You know, put yourself together a plan for creating some urgency if that's necessary. Easy enough. Create some urgency. Create some urgency. All right, where are we going? Go to page 4. Let's look at page. You probably know people now, and I know people now who say, well, I think in 6 months we'll have saved enough money to buy a house. We're going to buy a house. A lot of these first-time buyers, when they get serious about looking, they're going to buy. We talked about where you find them. They don't walk in the office very often. A lot of times they go to open houses, that sort of thing. But first-time home buyers are going to buy. Good ones, okay? Guess what else they're going to do? Most of them are going to buy fairly quickly. First-time buyers, you're not going to see a whole lot of this, well, we're not sure, we want to wait a while, blah, 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 blah. You're not going to hear a whole lot of that from them. Okay? And one other thing you can talk about first-time buyers, or not about first-time buyers, most of them don't know what they're doing. Most of them don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're getting into. They just want a house. They just want a house. And so when you meet with them, they don't know what they're doing, so what's one of the first things you're going to say to them? I'm going to educate you in the first-time home buying process. You want to learn how to buy a house? I'm the guy who can teach you how to buy a house. Blah, blah, blah. That sort of thing. All right? Okay, what else? What else? Listed below are some of the steps this agent will work with buying customers through in order to get a home purchased. Okay, write an offer to purchase. What are we going to give them once again? What are we going to give them first time we meet them?
Contract.
Contract, absolutely. This is part of the paperwork that we're going to have to use to buy a house when we find a house for you to buy. Got to give them that. Mainly because it's a test of how close to ready to buy a house they really are. Right? You weren't in here, but we said some of them might come back and say, yeah, I read it. I took them to a lawyer and he read it. Are they serious about buying a house? Sure. Sure. What else? Okay. We got a class later on negotiations. The second one there says, negotiate the offer to a contract. Whose job is that? Whose job is that?
Ours.
Ours, absolutely, agent's job. You have to teach them that you're gonna have to negotiate a contract out. All right, let's try this one for example. Got a first-time home buyer. House is $200,000. You wanna buy the house? Yeah, we wanna buy the house. What's the answer? What do you think we can get it for? What do you think we can get it for? We like it, we wanna buy it. What do you think we can get it for?
200,000.
Yeah, but
Asking price.
asking price, yeah, but there's no way we can get it by less than the asking price.
You gotta come within 10% of the asking.
Bingo, he remembered from way back when, right there? Way back when. In order to be taken seriously by a seller, it's a good idea to come make your offer within 10% of the asking price. So in this case, offer them 180. Is that right? Okay. Then guess what we have to do between 200 and 180? Have you waited to any water?
Would you like to sit?
Lately?
No.
You look fancy.
No, that's funny.
Oh, thank you.
Got negotiated. There it is. You want them to put something in writing. You can't do anything until they put something in writing. So what do you think we can get it for? What do you think we can get it for? You simply said just what Harry said. Well, let's offer them within 10% of the asking price. Negotiate for that. They want to offer less than that? What was the key word in there that discouraged them from offering less than within 10% of the asking price? Serious. Serious, absolutely. If you want to be taken seriously as a buyer. No, we'll offer them 150. We'll offer them 150. What's going to happen with 150 and 200? No. Right? That's what's going to happen with 150. All right, so meeting monetary deadlines, deposits, and so forth. In the contract that you're going to give them, there's some timelines in there that must be met. Get them to read it. Get them to know, you know, I got to have X number of dollars on this date and X number of dollars on that date. Make sure they know all of this stuff. Make sure they know all of this stuff to begin with, okay? Okay. Mortgage application. Guess what? You're going to have a mortgage. Most of them are. Most of them got to have a mortgage, so guess what? We're going to make an offer. We've got to get a mortgage application. Do we need it when we make the offer? Not totally, but it's sure a heck of a lot stronger if we got the buyer and we say that buyer's pre-approved for a mortgage of da-da-da-da-da-da. Right?
Yes.
Part of the learning process. Part of the learning process. Home inspection. Oh, what's home inspection?
It's a good term.
What's a home inspection, Rocco? Huh?
What is a home inspection?
Yeah. I'm a first-time buyer. What do you mean I got to get an inspection?
Make sure the house is up and running perfectly.
Huh?
Make sure the house is running perfectly when you.
Perfectly? Ooh, watch that word. Be careful with that one. I told y'all the story about we went on the final walkthrough with one that I sold, didn't I? No, we had the bay window in front of the house, and I leaned up against the bay window while I was talking to people, and the window fell out.
Yeah, you did.
Damn thing was eaten up with termites. True story. Okay. What else?
Oh, that's not bad.
You got to teach them about home inspection. Home inspector. There's going to be a process. You have to get a home inspection. All right? What's a home inspection? So they don't know. But if they know ahead of time, before you ever find a house for them to buy, is that a good idea? I think so. I think so. Negotiating items from the home inspection. Oh, You mean we have a home inspection and this guy finds some things wrong in the house, then what do we do? You negotiate from items in the home inspection. He has to fix this, this, and this. Or, if he's not, maybe I'll give him less money and we'll negotiate this out.
Yes.
Right? Process, right? Eric?
Yes, sir.
Process. That's all it is. Process, okay? Hold a final walkthrough. Well, you know, the day before the closing or the day of the closing, we're going to hold a final walkthrough to make sure everything's done up to date, da-da-da-da-da. Right? Now, should they know all of this before they buy a house? Or try to buy a house? Should they? I think so. I think so. Know the closing process. What do we have to do to close? Blah, blah, blah. Attorneys take care of it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Learn it all yourself. Learn it all yourself. This is another one of those things. Rocco's good at these. Rocco will probably go home and he'll put together he'll put together a plan on how to do just this, right? Yeah. So when somebody says, what we gotta do to buy a house? He'll be able to go right down through the process. Okay. Okay. And it says if the agent's going to do all the above for the buying customer, it's a good idea to try to establish a loyal working relationship with the customer. Oh, that's one thing I love about working with buyers. They're all loyal. They're all loyal to you, right? Just remember this. If you got a listing contract, you're employed. If you're riding around with a buyer, you're unemployed. All right? Because you don't have any agreement with them. All right? So you try to establish a little loyalty. Well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Those of you that are brand new, what's the word service benefit? Again, for the 400th time. Okay, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to find a house that you want to buy. I'm not going to, benefit is I'm not going to waste your time. If you work with me, I'll find you a house to buy, okay? But there's a trade-off here. Let's make it, I used to do it this way. I tell you what let's do, Mr. Buyer, let's make a trade. What do they do when you say let's make a trade? What's the trade? They say, what's the trade? Right, Rocco? Here's the trade.
What's the trade?
Here's the trade. I'm going to be looking for houses for you. And when I find a house that I know you're seriously interested in buying, you'll be the first one I'll call. You'll have the first opportunity to buy that house. The trade is, if you're out riding around and you see houses that you might be interested in, you're going to call me. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good? Okay. You get one of these once in a while. You get one of these people that tells you, we're not working with an agent. We're just working with every agent, okay? What's the key word in there? If you work with everybody you're working with?
Nobody.
Nobody. If you work with everybody, you're working with nobody. And then you explain the little loyalty bit to them. You wouldn't want to miss a house you really wanted to buy just because you're working with everybody, would you? Wouldn't want to miss a house you really want to buy just because you're working with everybody, would you? Well, no, I wouldn't want to work in this house I really want to buy. Well, work with me. You won't miss a house you really want to buy. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Make a trade with you. How about, I like that trading question there. Okay. Says when an agent finds a home the customer is interested in buying, the agent must have a plan for asking the buyer to buy. Use the 3-2-1 process can be very effective. We already talked about that, right? Okay. 3-2-1. Learn to do that. When you're showing houses, learn to do that. Learn to talk to them enough that you can look for 3 buying signs. And we explained what they were a while ago. 3 buying signs. Categories. Anything they say that has to do with living in the house. Second category. Anything they ask you about that doesn't have to do with living in the house. Third category. Negative comments about the house. This is all part of this process. 3 buying signs. Now, the next thing, as you know, says 2 soft closes. I use the same 2 soft closes all the time. I don't like to complicate things. You like the house? That's easy enough, huh? Can you see yourself living here? What do you do if they get a yes? You say, well, yeah, we can see ourselves living here. What's the next question? What's the hard close?
Buy a house.
Would you like to buy a house? Do not use that lousy 5-letter word. What is it? Offer. No, don't say offer. You want to make an offer? No, never say that. Never say that. You like to buy the house. You start with that. You get into an offer eventually, but do you want to get them to buy the darn thing? Absolutely, absolutely. All right? Okay. If you get a positive response to the hard close, you got to have a plan for explaining the necessary procedure for buying a home. Now, if do you want to buy a house leads to, yeah, we want to buy the house. If you've done all of this stuff that we previously talked about, you've already educated them in the home buying process, you already got that done. If you've done all that, are they going to be more comfortable buying the house?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And a lot of people go out and take buying customer out. They talk about this and that, and don't talk about buying a house. You got to talk about buying a house. And you got to do it in a way that they don't feel pressured. First time home buyers feel pressured if you say boo to them. So you got to do it in a way You got to do it in a way like we talked about, that they don't feel pressured. Right? Would you like to buy the house? Yeah, honey, I think we want to try to buy this. Okay, great. Great. What are we going to do? What's the first thing you're going to do? They want to buy the house. What's the first thing you're going to do?
Sign the contract.
Absolutely. We're going to fill out a contract. We're going to fill out a contract. The names, the addresses, blah, 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 the wants and so forth. Everything's in there. How much do you want to spend while we're filling out the contract? How much do you want to pay for the house? How much do you want to offer them? No, 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 no. How much do you want to pay for the house? Well, we'll pay $160 for it. This is a $200,000 thing. $160. What's the next time? What's the next line? We'll offer them $160. What's the next line?
Want to be taken serious?
Bingo! If you want to be taken seriously, if you want your offer to be taken seriously, it's better if you come within 10% of the asking price. Can you do that? There you go. And now we're negotiating. Easy enough? All right, here's another thing about this thing. As soon as a customer agrees to buy a house, or say they want to buy a house, first thing you do with them then is become their partner. You are no longer just a working relationship. What's the one word you can use to become a partner? We, absolutely, we. Let's talk about what we have to do. Let's talk about what we have to do to buy the house. Okay, you've got a partner now, all right? You use the word we. Let's talk about what we have to do to buy this home. First, we have to fill out some forms to make an offer. After that, we must get you pre-approved, and it's right down there in that whole paragraph. Okay? Okay. So now where are we? We're into that whole process. Do they know about what's going to happen in the process? Absolutely they do, because you told them all of this to begin with. When you get a good buyer, all right? You got to teach them. You got to train them. You got to coach them. You got to educate them. All right? And if you educate them, you can get around to, hey, let's make a trade. You want to make a trade? What's the trade? What's the trade? I just said, hey, let's make a trade. You want to make a trade? I used to do this. This was so simple. I'll tell you what let's do today before you leave today. Let's make a trade. Just like that. What's the trade? Well, here's the trade. And you talk about the loyalty thing. I'm going to look for houses for you to buy. All right? I'm only going to show you houses that you might be interested in buying. As soon as I find one, the first person I call will be you. The trade is, if you're out looking at houses, walking in an open house or something, you find a house to buy that you might want to buy, you're going to call me, and we are going to work together on this thing. Easy enough? Now, you think you can do this? You think you can do this without practicing any of it? Do you think you can do this without practicing any of it? No. How many times have I done this? In the thousands. In the thousands. By now. In the thousands, I would think. All right? So the point being is you don't know the stuff, so you have to practice it. All right? Next week, we're going to get a whole new ballgame. For the next 2 weeks, in fact, we're going to get a whole new ballgame on objection handling techniques. Do you think that you get hit with objections in this business?
Every other second.
Every other second, every other word, right? So we're going to spend 2 weeks, actually, on objection handling techniques, which is probably about the most important thing we do in these 10 classes that we have. Easy enough? Objection handling. We call them OHTs, by the way. So if I say we're going to teach you some OHTs, objection handling techniques. All right? What are you going to say when they say? That's what it amounts to. So we've got one more little thing to do today. What's the next little thing we do today? Let's just see if we know what we're going to do today. All right. Here you go. Get your pen handy. Get your pen handy.